Imagine being on a boat in the middle of the ocean on a seemingly calm day. There are waves in the water as usual, and there doesn't seem to be anything out of the ordinary. Suddenly, you notice that in the middle of the waves, a vast void more than 80 feet deep is formed, and the water seems to sink as if something is absorbing it from below. But you're on the high seas. Underside that void's forming on the water's surface, there's just more water. Yet that considerable void creates a current that drags everything around it. The waves, the foam of the water, and the boat you are on begin to be swept into the void as if they are being sucked into a giant whirlpool that appeared out of nowhere. The boat begins to sink into that void, and you notice that you are now below sea level, while the boat is about to be entirely covered by the waves you used to see from above. Although it sounds like a science fiction movie, this scenario could happen. What is happening is nothing more than an oceanic rogue hole, an anomaly in the ocean that causes the formation of a large hole in the surface of the water. This oceanographic phenomena represents a great danger to ships, as it could cause even a huge modern ship to capsize. Could it be that this phenomena is responsible for many shipwrecks that remain unsolved? Or is this kind of phenomena completely impossible? Join us to find out. Rebel ocean holes, or oceanic rogue holes, are the opposite of rebel ocean waves, which we discussed in previous videos. They are oceanic phenomena in which the depth of a hole in the water can reach twice or more the depth of the surrounding voids that occur when a wave falls under its weight. When a wave occurs in the ocean, it obtains water from its surroundings to grow upwards. By doing so, the water around the wave descends below sea level, causing what we know as an oceanic vacuum. This void also occurs when a wave falls under its weight and produces a push of water downwards, causing another new void. These ocean voids are entirely normal. We see them all the time in the open sea, and they are part of how the water of the seas and oceans behave. However, from 1995, it began to be speculated that the rogue ocean voids could exist. Why? What happened in 1995? In 1995, the existence of something sailors had suggested for centuries, the rebel ocean waves, was proven. These ocean waves can reach up to 100 feet, which was considered impossible. In 1995, the Dropner gas platform in Norway detected a huge wave with a height of 84 feet, which was something surprising considering that the average wave height in that same area was only 39 feet. That is, this wave exceeded any previously recorded height and was twice as large as the surrounding waves. As early as the 1800s, sailors told stories of huge waves that exceeded 100 feet in height, and that those unfortunate enough to encounter them had little chance of surviving, as no boat could escape these vast waves. However, a 1995 measurement confirmed that gigantic waves of water exceeding the average height exist, and were possibly the cause of different shipwrecks throughout history. With this new evidence, scientists and oceanographers worldwide began to wonder, just as rogue ocean waves exist, is it possible that rogue ocean voids also exist? After all, both rogue ocean waves and rogue ocean voids have always been part of the oldest maritime stories. Hey, before moving on, be sure to like or dislike the video so that we can improve them for you, the viewer. Plus, don't forget to subscribe to our channel by making sure to hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our daily videos. Sailors' stories. The famous Maelstrom is one of the stories that could be most associated with the rebel ocean voids. The Maelstrom is a Norwegian term used to describe powerful sea eddies, particularly those found off the coast of Norway. These eddies are known for their strength and ability to swallow large amounts of water, creating giant vortices in the ocean. The term Maelstrom derives from the Norwegian words mal, meaning mill, and strom, meaning current, suggesting the idea of a marine mill or whirlpool. This phenomena can be caused by the convergence of ocean currents, irregular underwater topography, and the interaction between tides and currents. The Maelstrom has been the subject of numerous legends and tales throughout history, both in Norwegian culture and international literature. One of the most famous accounts is the short story A Descent into the Maelstrom by Edgar Allan Poe, published in 1841. In this story, the narrator describes his experience of being swept into a whirlpool off the Norwegian coast and his struggle to survive. Although literary depictions of the Maelstrom may exaggerate its characteristics and dangers, these marine eddies and voids have always been phenomena that pose a potential danger to vessels and their crews, which is why they have appeared in different stories as a lesson for future generations. While the Maelstrom can be associated with more sea eddies and vortices than with ocean voids, it cannot be ruled out that some of these stories are related to these phenomena. However, beyond the stories, for many years it has been thought that this type of phenomena is completely impossible, as most of the stories always involved a single person claiming to have seen them. But no large crew has ever acknowledged seeing something like a huge rogue ocean void. Like what happened with the rogue ocean waves, could it be that no crew claims to have ever seen any rogue ocean hole because no vessel has survived to tell the tale? Dangerous and unpredictable. One reason rogue ocean voids would be very dangerous is that, like rogue ocean waves, they are completely unpredictable, occurring suddenly and without any warning. If any vessel was unfortunate enough to encounter a phenomenon like this, in which a considerable hole more than 100 feet deep formed in the water, would it have any chance of escaping it? If we consider everything involved in the formation of areas where the water suddenly sinks into the ocean, we can observe several dangers for a vessel that is in its proximity. Some of them would be: 1. Treacherous currents. Ocean voids could generate turbulent and powerful underwater currents that could pull a vessel towards its center. These currents can be challenging to detect and navigate, especially in deep water where the seafloor's topography is not visible. Ultimately, it could make a vessel nearly impossible to maneuver. 2. Turbulence and waves. The formation of an ocean vacuum could cause agitation at the water's surface, generating irregular waves and turbulence that could jeopardize the vessel's stability. This could be especially problematic for smaller or less stable boats that could be covered by waves. 3. Loss of control. If a vessel is caught in the downdraft into the ocean vacuum, it could lose control and the ability to maneuver, increasing the risk of collision with other objects or directly capsizing inside the void and sinking in the process. 4. Structural damage. Turbulence and forces generated by an ocean vacuum could damage the structure of the vessel, especially if faced with large and turbulent waves. In the worst case, the vessel could yield to the tremendous force of the dragging currents and the pounding of the waves and sink into the ocean. Do oceanic rogue holes exist? So far, we've discussed how this impressive oceanic phenomena has appeared in ancient stories of sailors and the disasters it would cause to a ship. But have we detected any? Since the oceans began to be surveyed with the invention of technologies with sensors that can be controlled remotely, we have acquired a much broader and more complete knowledge of the ocean. Nowadays, we have different ways to measure the water level of all of the Earth's oceans very precisely. We have artificial satellites, oceanographic buoys, and modeling with high-precision radars. All these tools have given us a complete map of the surface of the ocean and everything that happens there. Thanks to this, we know how to accurately predict natural phenomena that were unpredictable years ago, such as tropical storms, cyclones, or cold fronts. However, there are still phenomena we cannot predict. Two of them are the rogue ocean waves and the rogue ocean voids. These two oceanic phenomena cannot be predicted but can be measured when they occur. It is for that reason that today we know that every day, at all times, at least 10 rebel ocean waves are present in the ocean at the same time. We know this thanks to various instruments helping us measure the water level and buoys scattered in the ocean. But what about oceanic rogue holes? The formation of these rogue ocean holes is linked to a combination of factors, such as ocean currents, winds, and weather patterns. The interaction between these forces is believed to generate giant eddies on the ocean's surface, creating areas where water suddenly sinks, forming holes. In 2012, a study by mechanical physicist Yves Dubeif and colleagues at the University of Chicago produced rogue ocean holes in an experiment using ponds that generate water waves. The study proved what many scientists already suspected. Rogue ocean holes are not a figment of the imagination if they can be produced. However, there is a critical point. Although this experiment managed to form oceanic rogue holes, one has never been observed or measured outside of a laboratory. Even though we currently have enough technology to detect the formation of rogue ocean waves, the same technology that can detect regular ocean holes has never detected rogue oceanic holes. It's important to note that these lab experiments don't directly confirm the existence of rogue holes in the real world. Although mathematical models and experiments in wave tanks can help to understand the physical processes involved, direct observational evidence in the ocean is still needed to confirm the existence of such extraordinary phenomena. Some oceanographers think that if our devices have not yet been able to measure a rebel ocean vacuum, it's probably because these phenomena are even stranger and less frequent than rogue ocean waves, which are continuously detected. Another explanation is that these phenomena simply do not exist and have never existed. But in the end, the last opinion is yours. Tell us, do you think the oceanic rogue holes could exist? Do you think the ancient stories of sailors prove that these kinds of phenomena exist, but we haven't observed them yet? Let us know your valuable feedback in the comments.